What's up guys, my name's Alex from Uprising Network TV, and I'm here with a sort of a different video for this time around. This time we're going to be talking about sort of a new product review, overview of what my experience has been in terms of audio recording with my new microphone, the Blue Yeti. And here it is on the William website. So I've decided, this sense of Christmas spirit, sort of a capitalist move, to upgrade and purchase better gear in terms of audio recording. And I thought I'll share some of my experiences with you and sort of just explain what my setting is and what my setup currently is in terms of improving audio recording. So you can take a lot of the tips and tricks that I'm going to be talking about and apply it into your own situation with your own microphone. Although there are going to be slight alterations, sort of just optimizing your own setup. Now before, I was using the Plantronics Rig headset to do most of my recordings, and although it did alright, one of the biggest problems in my opinion with this microphone is the fact that the mic is positioned on the left hand side of your face, not really close to your mouth enough. So although this prevents any kind of puffing sound from your mouth and breathing into the microphone, which can be very annoying for your team chat, the problem with that is it doesn't catch as much of your voice and that I actually prefer, and it gets very, very quiet. And to the point where I have to boost the gain up to maximum, I have to electronically boost the audio again, and then you sort of get this room noise and sort of this electronic hiss that really, really bothers me in that sense. And it's something that you can't really get rid of that easily, so I thought it was time to change and upgrade, so I got the Blue Yeti, which sort of has a sort of the opposite problem, in which it catches a lot of the noise, the ambient noise. And there's going to be some tips I'm going to be revealing in terms of how to fix that situation. Now, so first of all, the Blue Yeti, it's a USB mic. It's quite good at sort of out of the box. However, a lot of people have said it's like, oh, it doesn't sound, as incredible as I thought it would. Just when I plug it in and everything. Well, there are things to do. It's not like a miracle worker here. It doesn't just suddenly change everything you imagine a microphone would be. You gotta do some change some settings, work with it, test out your, the settings in terms of your room. Reverb is a big issue for a lot of people, and you gotta do a little bit more research on that. And I'll be covering a lot of topics right now. So the first thing I would highly recommend is to change the mode of the recording depending on your situation. My all-time recommendation in any situation basically is the cardioid mode. Sort of this heart-shaped thing, because it sort of records in this heart-shaped kind of pickups area. And it's right in front of the microphone, so you gotta position yourself in front of it. And it's quite good for, just like it says, vocal performances, voiceovers, podcasts. And it's quite good, and it eliminates a lot of the extra noise that you might get if you set it to the other modes, which catches a lot of other sounds. And for example, stereo mode, the wild and realistic sound image. However, you get a lot of the room noise as well, so you gotta be careful about what kind of environment you're in. Second thing is you gotta position your microphone approximately 15 to 30 centimeters away, so maybe up to a foot away. That's my recommendation in terms of what I've experienced so far. If you want to get a little bit, closer, you get a nice warmer sound. You can turn down the gain so you can reduce a lot of the ambient noise. Overall recording, however, if you get closer, you get the P sounds if you don't have a pop filter, which is the third thing I would really want to talk about, is investing in some of this extra gear. So pop filter, I got myself the nice eShop, it's sort of made in China. Arrived pretty close, it was 2 weeks, and it's quite cheap, $6 free shipping. It's quite fantastic in terms of it, and yeah, I bought it with the package with the Blue Yeti, and it does very well in terms of what it needs to do. It's sort of this dual layer nylon material in the center, and it's exactly what it says right here: defends against distorting P and B consonant sounds. So my p and b sounds don't just blow into the microphone with harsh sounds. So if I was to change and take it off right now, Give me a sec here. Buh, puh. No, without the pop filter there, you may have heard a lot harsher sounds. I think it's absolutely worth. However, if you are in a situation where you can't, you can't afford one, or it's relatively cheap though, but if you can't bring it along, maybe you're on, in the situation where you forgot it, anything, any kind of cloth-like material that can disperse a lot of the sounds, like a dead cat if you have one lying around for your, shotgun mic, or you can even use socks. I've seen people just pop a sock right on, just put a sock on there, or like the stockings. Um, I've seen people also use just sort of like t-shirt fabric as well, just to cover up the microphone thinly and leave some air between, so that the audio just sort of just stays cleaner, crisper, and you don't get those annoying puffs of air. Also, one of the things that I have, I find a little bit annoying about the Blue Yeti is this metal stand here. Uh, Although it looks great, the microphone sits nicely on it. The clamp for the pop filter fits right on the edge here. The problem with it is that it is metal and there is not a lot of cushioning on the bottom. I've tried using some extra foam to put onto the bottom of it to reduce vibrations from my desk. However, if you use this for your everyday, I guess, Skype chat, if you have a hard desk, just wood, metal, glass, anything really, and you start tapping on it like this, the microphone will pick it up and it becomes really annoying. For me, I have a mechanical keyboard, so when I'm typing with it, it's a bother. But when I'm doing voiceovers, I just try to eliminate any kind of excessive, vibrations near my desk at any time. So that's sort of my, workaround. However, if you want to go a little bit, more professional with it, I would recommend a mic stand or a shock mount. I know they offer quite a lot of options here. So right now I'm going to type with my mechanical keyboard, and you probably can hear a lot of the clicking sounds, and it's quite loud. But let's say we'll look at the boom stand. So this stuff just clamps right onto your table. This suspension boom. Although you might have to watch out because the Blue Yeti is actually a oversized microphone, and it sort of extends outwards, and it's very heavy. So a lot of the normal smaller broadcasting studio microphone suspension boom might have some trouble, lifting the weight. I've seen people use the AGP Tech. This one is a little bit better. However, you can't use the included shock mount. You'll have to buy the Blue Yeti shock mount. And this is the radius. This thing will support it. However, at the same time, you can see with the price with Blue microphones charging premium for it. So I'll be a little bit wary of that. So anyways, those are my recommendations in terms of extra gear for your audio recording. And the next thing I would like to address is reducing room noise. Now, room noise is sort of just coming out of your typical area, because any kind of material will rebound and reflect the sound waves from your voice. And depending on the room, depending on the material, and what kind of space you have, you can get either very, small room noise, such as in my room. It's not that bad. I have a lot of soft, cushions, couches, carpet flooring, so it's not hardwood, so you don't get that reflection of noise. And most of the walls are, relatively spaced out. And it doesn't really have that much reflection. However, if you're in, like, let's say, a cathedral, and you get those stereotypical echoing of the sound, and the microphone amplifies that, echoing. When you're talking to people, it might not seem that way, but when you're actually listening on the microphone catches all of these extra waves with a little bit of latency that you can definitely notice in the recording. Now, to reduce this, I would definitely recommend going to a room that isn't too claustrophobic. If it's really small and you're sort of limited to it, that's unfortunate. There's other techniques that you can do so. Some people recommend putting an actual, a blanket over yourself and the microphone, as it absorbs the sound that's coming out of it, and you get something a lot cleaner. And at the same time, you can also do other stuff such as going into your closet. A lot of people record in their closet, and they find it the soft clothing as the best way of absorbing sound. Although I don't always recommend that, because you can still hear, sort of like, depending on the size of your closet and your size of your room and how convenient it is, it sort of does impact your sort of work experience, and also the sound. You can still tell sort of the room that you are in, and you don't get that clean of a sound recording. So try to also eliminate unnecessary electronic appliance noises. So electronic noise comes from anything that's sort of just plugged in. So I would recommend, if you have an appliance nearby, don't unplug your fridge or anything if you need it, right? Just turn down the fan on your fridge, so for the period of time, a short period of time. If you have any other fans or heaters or devices that might produce excessive amounts of noise, just temporarily turn it down, and that will really help in terms of your overall recording, so you don't have to go and mess around with the removal of noise, room noise. Although you can still do that in post, and I'll show you in a later video, and that will come up in sort of a two-part series of this episode. And the last thing is sort of choose the ideal space. Soft materials help a lot. So if you can go into a room with a lot softer and more absorbent, I'm running out of words to say in terms of this, but just sort of find a room with a lot more couches or stuff like that. That can help. If you don't have one, use the blanket trick. It helps a lot, actually. So that's overall my tips in terms of the physical aspect and the actual recording experience. And I'll see you guys in part 2 of the series, where I'll cover post-production and how to edit your audio.